Hi, we're Nick and Tyler, and we live in a van.
Hello from Folly Beach, South Carolina.
Yeah, a little bit of a change of plans.
So we're staying with one of my friends about 40 minutes outside of Charleston. And this morning we were like, oh, let's just go explore. And I just started kind of looking at places. And so we were going to go to a plantation. We got there. It was a little bit more expensive than we wanted to spend today because we want to see a lot. And I have a couple work meetings and things like that. So it just wasn't going to work out. So we decided to just head to the beach, kind of see what the beach is about. It's a little bit chilly today, so I'm wearing a jacket, but we're excited. It's a pretty day. Not a lot of people are out since it's a little chilly, but we're gonna enjoy it. At the cutest little restaurant. It's called Virginia's on King. I got biscuits and gravy, and Nick got the breakfast burrito. Excited to try it. We tried to park somewhere that I don't know. Nick tried to pay, and all of a sudden he just got a text saying that it's closed, so we're gonna have to move the van. So for the last 5 minutes, I've been trying to find a spot that we can park. So keep in tune, see if we actually find somewhere to park, and so we can actually hang out in Charleston today. After wandering Charleston for a while, we finally just stopped to get a little bit of a treat. I think we're gonna take off. We've been here for a couple hours, kind of wandering around, and we've been trying to decide what to do because there's a bunch of different tours that you can go on. There's a bunch of different places you can go into, but they all cost money, and so we're just feeling a little overwhelmed with how much you can do. And we're still not sure how our parking situation is. So it's a little bit, let's just say for the last hour, it's been a little bit hectic.
So we're gonna play, we just did some recon today. We went and checked out the ice cream, and it's really good. And we're gonna come back tomorrow with a gameplay. You can have the ice cream now. So we went to this place, it's called Virginia on Kings, right? Virginia on Kings. Well, I think we both decided we would rate it probably a 7 out of 10. It was pretty solid.
The building itself was so cool. I was so excited to get there just because of how cool it looked.
But the food was not the greatest we've ever had. So it was pretty, I wouldn't even say subpar. I'd just say it was pretty average. So we were a little bit disappointed with that. So I think that kind of started our spiral. And the parking situation, it kind of all happened all at once. So now we've got our ice cream. We feel better. We're going to go and decide where we're going to go next, whether it's going to be the beach or just back to Tyler's friend's house. And should be a pretty good rest of the day. We've had a good day so far. It's just we had a little bit of a hiccup and a speed bump. So
yeah, but tomorrow will be
better.
We have a tour, and it's supposed to start right now, and there was so much traffic. It literally is starting at 10. It's 10 o'clock. We pulled into the parking, and we still hope that they're here. Okay, so we got here, and we were so stressed because it was literally supposed to start at 10, and so we got here and we couldn't find it. We were freaking out. I ran inside to ask someone where it was. I thought that they had left, but they're just
43 miles in 35 minutes.
We sped a lot, but they just got here, so happy that we didn't miss it.
Yay! City tour was really cool because we drove around a whole bunch of different places in the city. So we went to they have their own little French Quarter, kind of like New Orleans. They have historic downtown, the harbor, all that kind of stuff. There's tons of different things. And I think for me the coolest part was they have a protection law or a preservation law that if a building is over 75 years old, you can't touch it, and it has to be worked on. Yeah, it has to be worked on by like only things that were made from the era that it was built.
Yeah.
So if you have a house from the 1800s, you can't just put like stucco to rebuild it. You have to like do it the exact same way that they did. It's kind of tedious, I feel like, but the architecture and stuff in South Carolina is really, really cool.
Yeah, that was also one of my favorite parts, was just to know that. And there's so many like buildings and like places in general that it's just really cool to like be here. They have way more than we like originally thought. We were like, yesterday we felt overwhelmed because there was so much to see, but like taking the tour, we were like, oh my gosh, there's like even more that we like didn't realize. So we like went to this little area and you could see like Fort Sumter from there, and we're taking a harbor tour so you can see that. But we also like drove past so many churches. Like this was the church, or like this city was supposed to be like for a place for like religious people that like totally tolerant for everybody. So there's churches all over and they're all massive. Like we're used to just seeing like cathedrals and like Catholic churches most places, and this one just like has everything.
All kinds of different churches.
It's so crazy. It's so cool.
We like it a lot. South Carolina, Charleston, probably one of the cooler places that we visited. Yeah, so far, when you do a little bit more planning, turns out generally a lot better. Did you realize that?
Fun fact, the Civil War started on Friday. Where is it?
That one. The one with the little flagpole.
That
It's
one
like
right
there.
That's crazy.
Station, much like New York's down south. All right. Construction on his name, saying Fort is one of these. They fire over 1,000 shells. And it up for around 20 months, which is why this fort is no longer a 50. 6 days. We sit up here with his arm on it, and out with his armor, he's not making it.
I'm not sure if you can see, but there's jellyfish. Man, some of these you can see like really well.
Then we would have to further agree that 4 out of 100 is absolutely unacceptably horrendous, and that's what our previous bridges scored during their safety exam. And having driven over those things a time or two, I can attest to the validity of those scores. It was quite a clinching experience. They were about 90% rust. They vibrated under your vehicle, and you barely had room for your rearview mirrors. So this bridge opened to great fit.
Hello.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing all that. All right, so we just ate. We're here at Brown Dog Deli. It's the cutest little place. There was a dog right over here. When we first got here, I had to do a work call, like as we were ordering and eating. So that was fun. I got a sandwich and it was amazing. It was a 10 out of 10 for me. Like phenomenal. I had pulled pork. It had like this fig jelly. It had
Apples.
I had
like
apples on
Granny
it.
Smith apples.
Oh.
It was really
It was
good.
phenomenal.
I got a little chicken wrap. It was like a Chipotle grilled chicken wrap. It was awesome. It was really good. So yeah, we've had like some good places. I don't think we've been disappointed with South Carolina so far, but like
Yeah, this
This
is like
was good.
phenomenal. And it's like hidden. There's literally almost nobody here. It's also like almost 4 o'clock, so it's kind of a weird time to be here, but like phenomenal. Like 10 out of 10 food.
would eat here again.
Yeah, so if you're in Charleston,
Heck of cheap. It was
Yeah.
like $23 for both of our sandwiches.
His wrap and my sandwich, and it was like dang good food. We got Jersey Mike's last night for dinner. It was like fine, but it was like $17 for like a giant sandwich. It was not worth it, especially compared to this place because this was magical. So
This was so good.
so nice. Now we're going to. I'm not really sure what we're gonna do. We had talked about going to the beach, but maybe we'll walk around the city, find a dessert place. Maybe we'll go to that dessert bar, get some dessert, and then head out. Guess we'll find out. The world is our oyster. Nick told me on our boat tour that Charleston is now his second favorite city in the U.S.
So far.
New York is number one still, but Charleston has surpassed everything else.
It's been pretty cool.
It's very, very awesome. I think both of the tours today taught us like that there's so much and they're so cool and it's a very unique place. And everywhere you turn, there's like history and there's plaques and there's like so much to see and do. So
We really like it. So fun.
this is a French church, the very first French Protestant church.
Bill, I got two ladies who want to hear how.
So according to our tour guide, this giant church is leaning. It like
Sunk 8 inches. I can't. Was it during or after the hurricane?
I think it was like there was a hurricane and then an earthquake,
Yeah, and it sunk 8 inches.
and so it's leaning.
So it's the leaning tower of the Sphinx.
Unfortunately, we're now wandering around and it's like 4 p.m. so everything's closing. So
But it's cool looking.
It's just like a
the leaning church that's also ginormous. And according to the boat tour guide, no building is allowed to be taller than the tallest church steeple
And this is the tallest one
in the city.
in the city. Right?
I think so. This is the one we saw from the harbor.
Okay, I don't remember what it was called, but we just stopped at this French bakery and picked up some little chocolate beignets.
Nick's gonna try it.
I'm gonna try it apparently. Oh, that's yummy.
Oh,
Those are good.
I'm usually not like a chocolate filled person, but that's yummy.
Those are really good.
Love French bakeries. Back at the beach, Folly's beach. Nick did a little work meeting. He did a personal training gig. And I've just been on the beach. I called my mom, talked to her for a little bit. We were just reminiscing on our time here in Charleston. Yesterday was a little bit more stressful and not like our ideal day, but today has been kind of magical. We've absolutely loved it. It was great to be able to end the day on the beach. We're going to be heading back to my friend's house really shortly so that we can do some laundry and make sure that we're like all ready to head out tomorrow. We're really sad that we're leaving just because there's so much to do here, but it's been so lovely. So we're going to do a little recap, just some of our favorite things that we did here and any recommendations if you decide to come to Charleston.
So
Nick will go first.
one thing we talked about, if you only have money or time for one tour, one thing that we said that would be really cool and well worth the money is some sort of like city tour.
Like a bus tour.
Yeah,
basically.
so the city tours are really cool because they show you a whole bunch of different parts of downtown, the historic district, all these different churches and stuff. So it kind of gives you a little bit more of an idea of different places that you might want to explore in terms of walking. So that's basically what we did after our harbor tour. We came back to the historic downtown and got the really good sandwiches there. Checked out a couple of cemeteries and a couple of churches. So we would definitely recommend one of those. They're not too expensive either, which is nice.
They're about like, depending on which one you do, they're about $30 a person. There's some more expensive ones, and you can also like do combo tours. So like that's what we did, is we booked it so that we could do the city tour and the harbor tour. And so it was cheaper to book the combo than them separate.
So yeah, we would recommend doing one of those. I feel like you get a really good bang for your buck. All the tour guides seem to be pretty chill. There's even some carriage tours, and we overheard a couple of those guys They all seem pretty funny, pretty like laid back. They're about an hour and a half, so it's also nice because the buses have AC and stuff. So it's, if you come when it's hotter, it's a nice way to get out and you don't have to walk around and sweat your butt off. So that was really good. We enjoyed the harbor tour as well. The only thing is with the harbor tour is, I feel like if we were to do that without the city tour, it wouldn't make a ton of sense. Or you just wouldn't appreciate like how cool the harbor is. Because there was a lot of things in the harbor that we were like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. But we wouldn't really have.
Oh my gosh, they mentioned that.
Right, we wouldn't have really super understood it unless we did the city tour.
Yeah. Another thing that I would mention, something else that we really loved was just the fact that like King Street is like the iconic spot. That's where all the shopping and like most of the food places are, which is really cool. But because we did the city tour, we got to see like all sides of it. So we saw both rivers. We got to see like different colleges. We got to see like the military college, which was really interesting. Like some stories about it. So, like because of the city tour, we got to see everything, which made us feel like way more accomplished. Like we did a lot, and we highly recommend like just looking up really good places to eat because we had some amazing food.
There were a lot of good places to eat, but definitely we'd recommend doing your research because I think there's a lot of places to eat, but they kind of have a very eclectic bunch of different things. So we had some stuff at a French bakery, we had some Southern cuisine, we had just a whole bunch of different stuff. So whatever you want, they probably have it, and it's probably really yummy.
And then I would also highly recommend Folly's Beach. That's where we're at. We did not park by the pier. We're not really pier people. And so it's been really fun because we get to see like all these really nice houses, but we just get to wander the beach and it's beautiful. Today's a little bit chilly, so it's not like there's not a ton of people here. And so it's been really fun. So
yeah, if you come into Folly's Beach and then you take a left and kind of drive up the peninsula, you'll like drive away from the pier, but on the sides are like little spots to park, and it's like $4 for an hour.
So it's $2.50 for the first hour, and then an extra $2 for any hour, like any more hours, and the most that you will pay is $10, which is like really good. It's
like really cheap. So we parked the van and we just kind of hang out here. So great places to park, lots of places to park. It's not like crazy busy, but
yeah. Really some other things that we did not do that we wish that we would have done / highly recommend is go to a plantation. We couldn't justify doing a plantation plus all the other tours that we did.
They're kind of expensive. They have a lot of tours here, but they're not crazy expensive by themselves. But if you do a lot, they rack up really quick.
So we wish that we would have done a plantation tour or just like go to a plantation in general. But those, like, depending on which one you go to, they range between $20 a person and $40 a person. And then we also wish that we would have gone into some mansions like in downtown Charleston because we drove past a lot, we heard a lot of stories, but like going in and seeing them would have been really cool. So we've loved it. We will definitely be back to Charleston. I think I mentioned this earlier, but this is now Nick's #2 favorite city in the US. We're gonna see how it ranks up as we continue to go north and go to DC and Boston and a bunch of other cities. But so far so good. So thanks for tagging along and watching all of our little videos. It's been so fun. And so yeah, that's our Charleston one.
Raleigh, North Carolina.
As you can see, the waves are not absolutely terrifying.
Hi, beautiful.
Another little cabin that